How much weight would you actually lose if you did a 7-day water fast? That's the topic of today's video. You're also going to learn, is fasting, water fasting, a good strategy for weight loss? And how does fasting even work? My name is Martin Morris. I'm a fasting and a lifestyle medicine expert. Let's get going. So, to answer this question, how much weight would you actually lose? We have to divide things up a little bit. So I've divided the days up into day 1 to day 3 of the fast, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Then day 4 to 7. So that would take us for our first week. And then I've even added on another week, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So, what's going to happen in the first 1 to 3 days of the fast? This is super interesting because on these first few days, something different happens than what happens on the rest of the fast. And this will explain a lot about how much weight you'd actually lose and would that be sustainable? Is fasting a good option for permanent weight loss? So, on the days 1 to 3, you're going to stop consuming all types of food. You're just going to be consuming water from then on. So you are going to stop retaining excess liquids. Now, you retain excess liquids from the salt that you consume, either the salt that you add to your food or the salt that's in your food, either because it's naturally there or it's been added there in some moment in the process of creating that food. So, the weight that you're going to lose in excess liquid in the first 3 days of your fast, roughly in the first 3 days, is in the order of 3 pounds. You're going to lose 3 pounds. You have that if you're in kilos to know. So that'll be about 1.5 kilos, roughly, ballpark figures. You're going to lose that in excess weight just in the first 3 days. Now, another interesting thing is going to happen during the first 3 days, and that is you're going to go through your glycogen stores. So, glycogen stores are the temporary storage energy unit of your body. So, you can think of glycogen as the money that you would carry around in your wallet if you still carry around cash. So, most of us, we don't keep all our money in cash, we just keep enough to get us by maybe a couple of days, to buy some petrol, to buy some food if we need to, maybe for a little bit of entertainment, that sort of thing. But it's not going to last for a long time. So you're going to run out of ready to use energy that your body has, which it stores in your muscles and it stores in your liver. And so after about 1 to 3 days, you're going to be completely out of this glycogen. And this glycogen weighs on average about, ballpark figure again, 3 pounds. So now you've lost 3 pounds of excess liquid, 3 pounds of glycogen, and something else is going to happen. Now, because you stopped eating food, all of the material in your digestive system, so the food that was in your stomach, food that was in your small and large intestine, in your colon, will slowly make its way through and out of your body, and you're not bringing anything new in, so you're just losing that material. And that has a weight, obviously, and that weighs on average, most people, about 4 pounds. So 2 kilos, 4 pounds roughly. So imagine this. In your first 3 days of fasting, you drop 3 pounds of excess liquid, 3 pounds of glycogen, and 4 pounds of digestive material. And you're going to lose in that time a grand total of 0 pounds of fat. Is a 3-day fast a good strategy for losing weight? No, it's a terrible strategy for losing weight. You won't lose any real fat weight. What you will lose is 10 pounds of excess liquid, glycogen, digestive material, which as soon as you break the fast and you start to eat again, you'll start to consume salt, you'll start to consume carbohydrates. So your glycogen stores will build up again, and then you will also be digesting food, so there'll be digestive material in your stomach. So you will gain 10 pounds. You do a 3-day fast, lose 10 pounds, gain 10 pounds. Terrible strategy. But now let's look what would happen if you were to continue that fast on now for another 4 days. So for a total of 7 days. So now you're not going to lose any excess liquid. You've already lost that. So that's 0 there. No more glycogen. You've used up your reserves. Nothing more in your wallet. So that's gone. No more digestive material, even though actually there is a little bit more. It'll just keep coming out a little bit over the next weeks. Imagine that. But for the point of this video, nothing there. And yes, finally, you will start to use your fat reserves. So it's like your body, looks in your wallet. Oh my God, I have no money there. I better go to the ATM, withdraw some. So going to the ATM is like having access to your bank account. And for your body, it's going to be the equivalent of drawing on your fat reserves. So most people of normal body weight actually have enough fat in their body to last them a long time without consuming any food. It's quite impressive. And people who are overweight or are obese, it's like you're a millionaire. You just have so much money in the bank or reserves to keep you going. So in those next days, from day 4 to 7, you're going to start using your fat reserves in the order of 2 to 3 pounds. So this answers the question, if I did a 7-day water fast, how much weight would I actually lose? Well, you would lose about 2 to 3 pounds. Really, you would lose maybe 12 to 13 pounds, but we got to remember 10 of those pounds you're going to put straight back on. The other 2 to 3 pounds, you won't put back on unless you eat in a way that makes you gain weight. Now, I added on a day 8 to 14, so 7 more days, just so you could see, well, what would happen if I had a full 7 days extra of fasting? What would happen then? So once again, no more excess liquid to lose, no more glycogen to lose, and no more digestive material to lose. So it'd just be drawing on your fat reserves. And that would be in the order of 5 to 6 pounds of fat that you would lose in a whole week of fasting after your first week. And that would continue on if you were to add additional weeks of fasting. You would lose on average 5 to 6 pounds, could be a little more. And this will depend if you're more active or you're not so active, because you're basically losing about 5 pounds or a little bit less just by keeping your body alive. That's how much energy your body consumes in calories just to keep your body alive. If you were more active, obviously you would draw on more reserves. So I hope this has been valuable for you to learn, well, how much weight would I lose. So to recap, a fast of 1 to 3 days, terrible strategy for losing weight. And maybe you've even tried that. You've tried fasting for 1 day or 2 days. And you're like, this does not work. Most doctors have that in mind when they say fasting is a terrible idea, because you lose weight, then you put it all back on. If you were to do a 7-day fast, you would have a mild reduction in overall weight, 2 to 3 pounds. However, if you were to continue to fast, then you would have a weight loss of about 5 to 6 pounds every subsequent week. So the weight loss then becomes very consistent and ongoing in a way that is very different to regular dieting, where often people come across a plateau where they lose weight for a while and then they just stop losing weight. That's not going to happen on a water fast. So there's a whole lot of questions which we didn't answer in this video. One of these, well, what happens to my muscle Will I lose muscle when I'm fasting? It's a fascinating question. The answer will probably surprise you. I'm going to put that in another video. Hope this was valuable, and I will see you soon.